Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. It all began when I relocated to the sinister neighborhood of S Angora Loop. My evenings spent here were anything from tranquil. Odd things started happening as soon as I got there. The first was the apparition of a massive, spectral figure covered in a black hood that obscured its face. It watched calmly from the shadows, towering above everything. Then there were the little, shadowy demons, no larger than a child of 7 years old, who were moving quickly through the streets, their presence as icy as the night air. However, it was insignificant in comparison to the Grim Reaper figure I came upon. At a fearsome 12 feet tall, he blended in with the shadows along streets like Armadillo Lane, Quartz, and Mohair, lurking in the deepest nooks where the trees grew thick. I've witnessed formless, dark monsters moving with an unusual grace and speed across the streets at night. It appeared that everywhere was unsafe. The atmosphere would alter around 10 p.m. on my late-night walks to Circle K. S Angora Loop would be covered in a disconcerting haze as a dense black mist would descend from neighboring Ranger Mountain and Franklin Mountain. The streets that were previously familiar seemed exotic and nearly alive. Unusual sounds resounded behind mobile homes and structures. Terrible, unnatural sounds that chilled my spine. One evening, as I was leaving Circle K, I noticed something moving along Mohair Street. I initially believed it to be a group of people, but their movements weren't human. They moved slowly, their limbs bent and warped as though they were having trouble standing up straight. They appeared to snarl as they moved, their features veiled in darkness, all dressed in black. I'm not sure if there were ghosts, reanimated corpses, or just a product of my imagination. How, therefore, could I be having hallucinations? I was only a witness to something ominous and dangerous that was hiding in this area. I wasn't high on LSD or mushrooms. S Angora Loop is haunted, in my opinion. I sense this place's draw every night, almost like it's a portal to the otherworldly. I keep seeing this creature in my nightmares and I can't get rid of it. I first saw it in early March of 2 years ago. It was a monster that resembled a zombie, with bright red blood seeping down its body and its skin withering. It was there, visible only through the shadows, its presence overpowering. A peculiar beam of light, like a transmission from space or some other lost dimension, mesmerized me, I remember. Was this an alien, a zombie, or an omen, or was it something from the bottomless pit? And lastly, the truck. I used to hear an ancient military-style car rumbling down S Angora Loop on certain nights. The truck resembled something from the 1930s or 1950s. It was enormous and had loud, grinding axles. It made me think of the one from Masters of Horror's Homecoming episode. Every time I spotted the car outside my window, it gave me the creeps. I would sneak a glimpse while hiding behind the blinds and observe it stop in the midst of the road, seemingly aware of my presence. The suspension gave off a creaking sound like to that of a Jeepers Creepers truck, and I swear there was a ghost or something dead at the wheel. I couldn't see the driver through the dark windows, but I could make out figures in the back of the truck that might be soldiers. They sat in silence, staring at my house while wearing worn-out, ragged uniforms. When the vehicle eventually pulled away, toward the train, smoky shadows swirled about them. The stick shift and the unsettling, nightmare-like cracking of the steering wheel were audible to me. Even more disconcerting was the hush that ensued. It terrifies me to live here. I always worry about what I might see at night. I've warned my mother not to turn on the lights at night for fear that we'll be noticed. I haven't fully disclosed what I've witnessed to her because I fear she would believe I'm going insane, but I'm sure she'll witness it for herself eventually. It feels like it's growing worse. I've made the decision to install security, to prove to the world that I'm not crazy. I need to document what I've seen here. As my back issue prevents me from working, I have an abundance of time to get ready. I'll keep looking into this location till I find out the truth. However, I caution anyone brave enough to come through here at night. Use caution. Shut the doors behind you. Examine the reflection in your rearview mirror. Something that wasn't there before may be sitting in the back seat. Additionally, keep an eye out for the little shadow monsters, which are constantly on the lookout for their next victim by dashing across the roadway. And that brings us to the end of today's delightful story. I really hope it had you on the edge of your seat. If you liked this story, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. There's always an exciting surprise waiting just around the corner and you won't want to miss it. Do you have a spooky story to share or a fun idea for our next tale? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what gives you the creeps the most. And as always, take care, keep exploring. And remember, sometimes the most chilling tales are the ones left untold. Catch you in the next one, if you're up for it.